97% of future traders lose money, is what you said. You said sports betting legalization spikes bankruptcies by 25%. So that's a pretty hardcore number. That's a brutal number. 97% of future traders lose money.
Yes. And that's speaking to these, like Robinhood started pushing like options trading. Coinbase started pushing futures trading, convincing retail that they should be trading the same sophisticated financial products that Wall Street does. And they brand it as democratization. Like, oh, hey, it's not fair that only Wall Street can trade this thing. But actually what's really happening, this is what's also happening with the prediction markets, is these markets just aren't very interesting if it's Jane Street trading against the Citadel. They don't want to trade against each other. They want to trade against you.
Yeah.
They want to trade against the guy who thinks who's learning about this stuff. And that's where the real, and so really the customer of these apps in many ways is not the user. The user is the product, and the customer are the Wall Street trading firms that are, the user is being fed to them basically when they're being sold these products.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember in 2020 during the pandemic, and then everyone got the helicopter money. All the stimmy was sent out, and I have my oldest daughter was in high school, and a bunch of the boys were like coming over. They know I sort of work in the finance niche, and they're like, "Oh, can you show me how to trade options?" And they're showing me like their Robinhood accounts and stuff, and like everybody got so into it, And I mean, it still dominates the questions that I get, like show me what you're trading, what are you buying, what price levels, and it's like this trader economy. But I think it's like more a function, back to the original opening quote, which is like a function of a high inflationary environment. And as we talk about, like fiat is like creates like high time preference, right? So I think very short term, like just trying to get something today. And so a trade is like short term. I can get like that short term gratification. And maybe, that's why the fiat system encourages that, right? When you think about Bitcoin, you start thinking about long-term decisions, and it starts to change that. But again, I think it's more about like where we're at right now, and kind of to the point that you're making, like maybe we shouldn't have laws around this, but maybe there should be some education to try to help people see the other side of it and sort of let them see some of these statistics that you've laid out.
Yeah. I sort of see myself as I'm playing my role in a free market right now, like calling out the criticism.
Yeah.
Like I think it's perfectly valid to say, hey, like this is bad for society. You're like, we should sort of criticize your brand for doing something that's hurting our society. And that's a free market mechanism.
Yeah.
Right. And so, you could even argue that, hey, just let it run its course because this is going to be bad for them long term anyways. Maybe that's true, maybe it's not, but you can only sell your users, like extract money from your users for so long before they wisen up, perhaps. I think that's probably what happened with crypto trading, is these exchanges let Silicon Valley dump tons and tons of useless tokens on their users. And now people are kind of over crypto trading. If you saw the reactions to the Coinbase ad in the Super Bowl, like lots of people were filming themselves watching the commercials, and then everyone saw like the Coinbase ad pop up and they're like, oh, so maybe that's what will end up happening is like a few years from now, Robinhood's brand or Coinbase's brand is going to be even worse because people are like, yeah, they told me to bet on March Madness and I lost all my money, and look where that got me.
Do you think sports is where you draw the line? Because you kind of keep referencing back to sports when they implemented sports. Because, I mean, you would also say that, I mean, most of the financial market is speculative in gambling today as well. So, I mean, do you really draw the line at sports? Because if not, I mean, to your point you made earlier, like bringing futures to retail's not really equipped to trade against Citadel. So that's not fair necessarily. It's like a knife to a gunfight kind of a thing. But I mean, we should allow democratization to the financial market. So where is that line?
And then, I don't have a solid answer,
Yeah.
right? I don't think that we should make it illegal for people to trade options, right? I think that would be a mistake too. I think there's like a sort of a gray area zone where it's like, how much are you gamifying this thing? How much are you pushing it to people who, if you had to be honest with yourself, really shouldn't be doing this? And there used to be like a lot more sort of controls. Like if you wanted to trade options, you used to have to submit a form and be like, I'm sophisticated. Here's my net worth and blah, blah, blah. And now it's like, hey, 19-year-old, uh,
Yeah.
would you like to get rich and trade options?
Yeah.
So, and then I think with sports though, I think the clear new line here is there's nothing financially useful about it, right? Before that, like an option has a value. Like there's a reason they exist. There's a reason we have a rich options market. It's a very useful financial instrument for the right people. Um, but sports is just like like crosses a line where this is pure speculative entertainment.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it is so visceral to people now, and it makes it a lot easier to criticize.
Yeah. I I saw just this morning. I was in the gym and I saw up on the news TV, and Zuckerberg's in court, and there's like some big cases. I think they lost about they've gamified social media. They've made it too addictive, and I don't know
Hmm.
what that means. I mean, partly it's addictive because of the dopamine we get from it. Same with gambling, we get the dopamine, so we're addicted. We're
Hmm.
drug addicts, right? We're addicted to our own chemicals. But apparently he lost the court case. He's made it too addictive. And I think maybe kind
Yeah,
of what you're saying is these platforms could make it not so addictive, potentially.
exactly, exactly. And I think there's something with business. I think people have a, um, I think most people hold this view of business and a free market. They're like, if it's technically allowed, I can do it,
Right.
right? And I think that's because people have a deep, or do not have a deep understanding of how our country or why it actually works, right? Um, a really healthy nation is a group of people who share this bond. They often share like a blood and sacrifice, and they feel this like it's very unlikely that why would you do something to harm your people, right? And so there's this usually this social check on, and there's always bad actors, like, you can't trust everyone to be an
Right.
angel. And so you need some guidelines and some rules. But like the more society gets to be like, oh, the free market is like the gospel, right? Um, uh, like the system breaks
Yeah.
because like the system's designed like the blockchain, right? You only go to the blockchain when you really need to. Like the whole sort of like legal system design. Yeah, we have this thing when you really need it, it's there. But like we're kind of trusting everyone to sort of like generally be good.
Right.
If everyone is just always trying to game everything, then this thing just falls
Yep.
apart. And so I think the more businesses get like this, the worse it becomes for all of us because the system starts to fracture.
Yep.
Um, so that's why I think it's, we need to be calling it out.
Hey, if you like this short conversation I just had, you're going to love the full length conversation. Don't miss it. You can go ahead and click right over here, and I'll see you over there.